Welcome back to another edition of Dante's Hearthstone Mean Streets of Gadgetzan review, preview, whatever you want to call it. One day before the expansion comes out, I'm going to be looking at all these cards and tell you whether or not I think they're good and constructed, and good standard constructed, and your regular arena there. So let's just move through this. Let's see how it is. Now I will be going through the hunter cards. I'm going to be going through all the classes, all the neutrals, and then all the tri-class, which is the new type of thing that Hearthstone or Blizzard is trying to utilize and do. And here we go. First up, we have Smuggler's Crate. Smuggler's Crate, give a random beast in your hand +2/+2. Of course, this is the new mechanic they're trying to implement. New mechanic-ish. I don't know even what you consider it. And it basically allows to buff cards in your hand. That is something that hasn't really been implemented. There was a few cards, I think Mistcaller sort of just buffed every card and in your deck, and now this one is every card in your hand at the very least. So give a random beast in your hand +2/+2. 1 mana for +2/+2 is pretty damn good. It's tough to see why you wouldn't play this in a typical hunter that's just trying to get out. I mean, how many hunter cards are 1 mana? I mean, there's a lot of 1 mana decent hunter cards that are also beasts. Or you can get even a charger, or just put it on a high main, or put it on anything. I mean, to not be able to use this card is kind of crazy. So you have a 2 mana card, 2 mana 3/2, or even 2/3 beast. Now it's a 4/5 on turn 2. That's crazy. That's like game winning crazy. So it's tough for me to see at least not one of these used in constructed. Pretty good card. In arena, however, it's a little bit tough to get your synergies, your beasts, all that type of stuff. So I think in arena it's a little bit lacking. It'll still be picked by some. I mean, because it's a common card, you're going to see it a lot. Maybe beast will be a little bit more prevalent. We'll see. I don't know. In arena, it's a little bit lacking. In constructed, I think this can get out of hand. Obviously, you'd want to mulligan for this, but even if you didn't, it's tough to not get value off of this. That's what's really difficult. Like, how do you miss the value on that? I don't know. You almost always have a beast in some form. So I like this card. I think this card is good. I actually don't think it'll be played in every constructed hunter deck, but I do think there are applications where this card is kind of crazy. Definitely. Next up, we have 1 mana. Speaking of a card that buffs it, 1 mana, 1/1 alley cat, Battlecry, summon a 1/1 cat. So we have an alley cat that summons a cat. Okay. I'm assuming they're both beasts. I don't know what the cat is. I don't really care. It's probably cute. I like it. Either way, look at these damn teeth. I mean, this is a whole new form of fashion here. I gotta see. Pretty good. Either way, I mean, on turn 1, if you went second, you Smuggler's Crate, you get a 3/3 cat that summons a 1/1 cat. It's really good. Will this see play? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a death rattle. That's my mistake. So it's 2 1/1s. You can't. It's basically a 2/2 on turn 1. Like, that's crazy. And I'm assuming they're both cats, or assuming they're both beasts. I think this card's really good. This is good. Definitely. This is going to replace a lot of the 1 mana cards you put in constructed hunter, but it's going to take out that 3 mana camel that summons 1 mana cards, because you want the Battlecry. Without the Battlecry, it's not very good. With the Battlecry, it's awesome. So yeah, this card is great and constructed and absolutely fantastic in arena. And this card is going to be all over the place in arena, and it's going to be annoying as hell. Next up, we have 3 mana, 3/3 Shaky Zip Gunner. Death Rattle, give a random minion in your hand +2/+2. This is a random minion, not even a random beast. Random minion. This card is out of hand. Oh my goodness. It is out of control. Man. This card is good. Okay. This card is good. If this was like, let's say this was like a 6 mana 6/6 or 6/5 or 5/6. Give a random minion in your hand +2/+2. This card actually wouldn't be that good because your hand might be fairly empty at that point, being a hunter. But this is a 3 mana card. Early on, you're going to play this card. And I'd be shocked if you didn't get the value off of it. This card is pretty damn good. I think this is going to be seen. If this was a beast, this card would be so broken. Oh, man, I couldn't even imagine it. It's not a beast, luckily, somehow. It does look like a hyena. So that's weird. Either way, I think this card is going to be played in most, if not all, hunter decks from here on out. Because there's almost no reason. Why wouldn't you play this? Even if you're a face deck, you'd play this. Like, that's ridiculous. In an arena, absolutely absurd. I don't even... The value off of this is disgusting. This card is broken in arena. It is straight up broken in arena. In constructed, it's not broken because synergies and removals and stuff like that. But in arena, this card is broken, and hunters have just leaped over some other class because of this card itself. Crazy in arena. Here we go. Now we're getting on to the rares. Frog Beast Rager. 2 mana, 3/2. Battlecry, give a random beast in your hand +1/+1. 2 mana for this effect. Pretty damn good. Of course, now this has the beast tag on it, so it has to be a beast, so it's a less of a chance to hit something in your hand. But still, when you do, it's pretty good. If this was a beast, it'd be out of control. It's not a beast, even though, I mean, look at it. I guess it's a Trog, so Trogs aren't beasts. But give a random beast in your hand +1/+1. Very good. This will definitely be used in some hunter decks, not all. But, I mean, for a 3/2, good stats. Obviously, does damage, can kill most 3 drops, and definitely just about all 2 drops. So this isn't gonna be a staple in constructed. This will be in some constructed decks. As far as arena, it's a great card in arena because even if you don't get the Battlecry, which is just a ridiculous bonus, it's a 3/2 for 2 mana. That's just really good for arena. Next up, we have Hidden Cache. 2 mana spell. Secret. Finally, they're bringing secrets back. I want more secrets. Mage needs more secrets. I haven't looked at all the cards, so Mage might actually have more secrets. But either way, Hidden Cache. Secret. After your opponent plays a minion, give a random minion in your hand +2/+2. That is interesting. One thing I don't know about this is will it only proc if you have a minion, or will it proc and be wasted if you don't have a minion? I actually don't know. That's interesting, because if this doesn't proc if you don't have a minion, then this card's actually slightly better than you'd think, because then you could just play it if your mana is consumed and so forth, or you wanted to hit the hero power, or you wanted to use a spell, or so that I'm curious about that. I'm not positive. It'll be slightly better. I actually don't think this card is that great. I don't think it'll be used in constructed that often, if at all. Even in those secret hunter decks, those decks have a lot of times a lot of problem keeping up the pace when they use all their secrets or all their cards. So I don't think this is actually very good for constructed. In arena, I think it's only slightly okay in arena, and very situational even at that. So I think overall this card in constructed, not that good. In arena, just barely okay, but almost in just some instances. So you're not going to see this often, in my opinion. Next up, we have the 4 mana 2/4 Battlecry. Deal damage equal to this minion's attack. So I'm assuming you get to pick who you deal damage to. Dispatch Kodo, I like it. It's good. Now, one thing that makes this better is, as you probably noticed, secret, give a random minion in your hand, blah, blah, blah. You give a beast, you can give a minion in your hand, blah, blah, blah. So you could buff this thing up. It could be like a 5/7. So you're doing 7 or 5 damage to something. This card can be good. People are going to really try to utilize this card, and I actually think it's not going to work out very well in Hunter decks, or at least where they're trying to bring Hunter in the more mid-range controlling. I don't think this is going to work very well. That's just my opinion. I think it's actually underwhelming because if you don't get any of these procs off from some of the other cards, then this card kind of sucks, right? I mean, it's yeah, I don't know. I personally don't really like it. Although, I guess 2 damage is still okay when you have 4 health. In that sense, in just its regular card, I think it's less than okay. It is a beast, which is obviously a bonus. But I think people will try to utilize this, and then it'll just be underwhelming in constructed. That's what I think. And as far as Arena, it's going to be rare if you ever get that value off of it. I think it's actually a little bit better in Arena because dealing that 2 damage is pretty premium, especially for a Hunter who doesn't have the mage hero power to ping off a minion. But I think it's actually a little bit better in Arena, surprisingly, even though the synergies might not be there. Anyways, next up, we have the 3-mana 2/2 Rat Pack. Death Rattle. Summon a number of 1/1 rats equal to this minion's attack. Again, this is another one that has... It's all about the buffs. It's all about the buffs. So even if this is... Alright, so let's just put this at face value. It has 2 attack now, 2/2, and it summons 2 1/1. So it's technically a 3-mana 4/4 if you base all the stats out. So then if you buff it once, it's a 3-mana 6/6. So if you buff this once, this card is awesome. If you don't buff it, it's just okay. And I believe the rats are also beasts. So I think this card will be used. And I think it's easier to get 1 buff than it is to get 2 or 3 to try to utilize a mid-range game. That's why I didn't like that other card. So I think this card is actually extremely good. And I think it'll be utilized in most Hunters. And as far as Arena... This card's fantastic in Arena. Just because Death Rattles are so annoying and so hard to deal with in Arena especially, this card is awesome in Arena. And it's going to do very well, and it's going to piss me off even further. Next up, we have the 5-mana 2/4 Piranha Launcher. After your hero attacks, summon a 1/1 Piranha, which I also believe is a beast. I think this card is terrible. It's way too slow for a Hunter. It's just too slow for a Hunter. You're taking face damage most likely. Even if you summon the Piranha, I don't think there's enough buffs to utilize it well, at least not on the board. Maybe if the Piranha was in your hand, it was free to play or something. I just don't think this card's that great. I think it's too slow, and it doesn't work that well. Obviously, per value, if you get full value, it's awesome, but you're probably never going to get that. Or at least if you do... It's not worth it. Stick with the other weapon. I don't like this. If it was 4 mana, even then I think it'd be kind of tough to utilize. I don't know. I don't like it. I think in Arena it's okay. Actually having 2 damage, especially for a Hunter, is really good. And you get the 1/1 Piranha, which is really annoying, especially in Arena. So I think actually in Arena it's okay, but constructed, I'm not seeing it played. I don't know what it fits in. And now, finally, we have, for the Legendary, Hunter Legendary Knuckles, 5 mana, 3/7. After this attacks a minion, it also hits the enemy hero. So this is trying to bring back some face Hunter, but not really. 3/7 for 5 mana. Again, what they're trying to plan, what they're trying to really play for is buffing of cards. Now, all the buffing cards so far, at least obviously as the Hunter class specifically, is randomized. You can't choose it. It doesn't buff all the cards in your hand. So to get a buff on this is a little bit tough. And one thing that really is annoying is you have to attack. If somebody attacks into you and you do damage, it doesn't do damage to the hero. So that is a knock on this card. Obviously, people are going to try this, and I think people are going to be let down and disappointed. But when it works, it's going to be awesome, right? I mean, that's usually how it goes. I think this card is bad. in constructed, and I think it's bad in arena, and no one will pick it, no one will use it. That's just my opinion. We'll see. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there'll be a new weird buff hunter face thing. I don't know. We'll see. Put it in the comments below. Tell me what you think, and I will be back.
You gotta be kidding me!